Hello, welcome to art class. Hope you're excited to draw today. I know I am. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to get to use some imagination and make some pretty cool, silly things. Today we're going to create a Dr. Seuss style car that has a purpose. Okay? So, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Dr. Seuss and his books. Some of you might not know Dr. Seuss. That's totally okay. But he's an author and an illustrator, meaning he made the drawings for his books too, and a very, very creative individual. And one thing that's always stood out to me is these funny kind of cars that he would draw. He just had a silly way of making these fantastic vehicles, and a lot of times they have like a specific purpose. They do something, right? So like for instance, we look at this one right here. I think this is from the Lorax. And this one is chopping down these trees and turning them into this fluffy stuff. So you can see it's got this little thing with the axes that chop them. It feeds them into these gears. It shoots them out through here into a big pile, and it's got this little cup holder thing to hold them. It doesn't look like it would actually work in real life, but it's got a purpose, doesn't it? Its purpose is to chop down and process these trees, which in the story is actually a bad thing, but it's still a really interesting drawing. Up here we have the Cat in the Hat's little car that he uses to kind of clean up the house. So the purpose of this car would be a cleaning machine. And it's got all these different arms that, pick things up and sweep, and one arm for the dustpan and different things like that, right? And then over here, I don't know what the purpose of these other two are, but they're just examples to show you the style. Like some of them have all these little holes for different creatures and people to sit in. Some of them have legs on them and gears and all these funny little details. So we're going to go through kind of how to make something like this, and then and you're also going to decide what the purpose is. Okay, so bringing my camera down here. A bit like that. Okay, this is good for now. I'm gonna go a little. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this screen big so that you can see my paper, and I'm gonna put this screen kind of small over here so that you can still kind of get a little glimpse of those. Okay. So the way that you want to start something like this is the way that you start most drawings, and that is with shapes. However, you do want to, before you even put any shapes down, you want to decide the purpose of your vehicle, because that's going to inform like how you draw it. So take a minute to think about what you want this thing to do. I'm going to make one that cooks breakfast and feeds it to people. That's going to be the purpose of my vehicle. So this is going to be a big one for me. It's going to have to be big to do that. And I'm going to just come up with some shapes. And I'm using a pencil first. I'm just going to sketch out some basic shapes. And we're just kind of putting shapes together. Think of this like blocks. So we have kind of a round shape here. I think I'll have like a round shape like this. Sure, why not, right? It can be any kind of shape that you want. And I'll add some other things too. You could have wheels, you could have legs. I personally like the legs, so I'm going to have legs on mine. I think this is a good basic shape for me to start with. I'm going to put maybe like another shape on it somewhere else too. Let's see. Maybe I'll have something on the back. There we go. This is giving me something to work with, right? Let me move this over. So I have a little something to work with here. So I got to design this into a vehicle. See, I just got two goofy shapes. I'm going to design this into a vehicle that is my purpose is that it's serving breakfast. So whatever your purpose is, you make your shapes, and then you add details that help it do its purpose, right? So like mine, it's got to move around. So I'm going to draw legs kind of like this crunk car has, this on the top right. That's called a crunk car. That's what he calls them in his books for some reason. Just a silly thing. And so I'm going to kind of copy those a little bit. They'll be a little different, but you can get some ideas and copy a few little things as long as you're making your own picture, okay? So I'm looking at that picture and kind of creating some legs that are in that style. And I like that how they do gears, how he makes those gears, and I can show you how to do that. You just lightly draw a circle, that's the sketch, and then around the edge of that you're going to draw these little squares, and then you just connect in between the squares. See that? And then I can draw a circle in the middle. Easy way to make a gear. You just start with a light circle. Okay? So it's got a gear. Maybe I'll put 2 gears so that it looks like it's moving something. Even if it doesn't really make sense, you know, add parts that make it look like it's mechanical or it's moving. Maybe this gear can be attached to a wheel here with like a little band. Something like that, right? It doesn't really make any sense, but it makes it look like a machine. And then I'll give it that little foot. We'll give it like a little thing like that. Simple. There's a foot there. And I'll have it like, I'll give it 4 feet. So like 2 front feet. I'll put another one over here. Same style. And I'll put some feet on the back. These ones will go up almost like a frog. That's fun. This is all about just kind of fun and being silly. So go overboard with it. You know, don't make it like really modest and simple. Make it, you know, give it some big long legs. Give it something crazy. If you got a wild idea, say, okay, why not, right? Go for it. This is the time to really go overboard and make it super, super silly. I think I'll add the driver here. We'll give them... First I'm going to draw little hands on a steering wheel. But these don't all have steering wheels. Like some of them have like weird little controls or different things. It doesn't have to be a steering wheel either. Okay? And I'm going to actually really look at this guy. I want to draw this guy because he is so cute. I'm just going to draw that same little guy. Maybe I'll make him a little different, but so I'm going to sketch a shape for his head. Draw the eyes, those cute little eyes. I just love these books so much. And then a little mouth, little chin. Looks like the head comes up like this, and then it gets all fuzzy on the back. And then these little pup rabbit ear things. See, mine's a little different, but that's fine. Looks good. Did it my own way. Okay. And yeah, maybe I should add another seat with like an animal in it, just because. Right? Why not? But we'll get there. Add another gear. So it's all just about adding stuff that adds to its purpose. So right now, you know, it's got to have these legs because it's got to move around. Now I'm going to think about its purpose, which this one is serving breakfast. So I'm going to kind of take something from this, see this Cat in the Hat car that has the little holes with the hands coming out? I'm going to do something like that. So I'm going to draw kind of a C shape for a hole here, and then 2 lines coming out to make this, right? And then once I've drawn those lines, I can continue that, make it look like it's going behind. See how I did that? And I'll just draw another circle around it. I'll color in the inside so it looks like a hole. See how I did that? And so this one, I draw a little hand, and this one's holding a frying pan. Big one. And it's going to be cooking some eggs and some bacon. I can hear it now. Okay. But how is it getting heated, right? It needs something to heat it up. So this car will have a little, an oven would be one thing, but this is a Dr. Seuss car, so we gotta be a little wild with it. So I'm gonna make something out of shapes here. You see how I did like just a shape, another shape coming out of it. Maybe we'll do a fun shape like this, because why not? Right, just add some funny shapes together when you're making these things. And then it's gonna have a big couple gas tanks, and it's gonna just shoot some fire out. It's like a little hose. It's gonna have like 3 different hoses shooting fire. It's gonna look a little wild. This definitely would not be a good idea for a real kitchen, but that's not really what we're going for here. And here's my fire it's shooting out. This isn't really a realistic kind of thing. And I'll put a little flame symbol on these to show that, that's where the fire comes from. Okay. So we got a little thing that's cooking the bacon and eggs. Wunderbar. That's German for wonderful. Okay. We got to plate up, don't we? Gotta have, like, it's gonna fling them into. Maybe I'll have another hand over here with. I could just be catching them on a plate, but that would be predictable. I'm gonna give it a catcher's mitt, like in baseball, because it's got to be silly and crazy, right? So it's gonna fling the eggs and the bacon over here into the catcher's mitt. Yeah, we'll fling them into the catcher's mitt. I don't quite know what's gonna happen next. Let's figure it out. Or maybe I'll just work on a different part of the car while I think about it. I can outline this part. I draw lightly first, and then when I decide I really like how something looks, then I go over it with like a harder, darker line. You see how I did that? Because when it's light, you can still change it, and then when you make it darker, you're kind of saying, okay, this is official. Yeah. All right. So flinging some eggs back. Oh, and it needs a hand to crack the eggs. This one's just going to rely on lots of hands. They don't all do it that way, but it needs 2 hands to crack the eggs. I don't think you can crack an egg with 1 hand, can you? I don't know. There, that one's cracking the eggs in there. Oh, and we need a hand for the spatula. You can't cook eggs and bacon without a spatula. We're really getting out of hand here, aren't we? All right. Cool, that's pretty wild. I like it. There's a lot going on with this car. So it flings the eggs into the catcher's mitt. And then the catcher's mitt, and I'll put another one, like it's got 2 going at the same time. And it'll also show you, it's kind of going to just show you what's going on here. It drops them over here. So I have this big shape that I made that I've got. I can do something with this. So here we're going to have a conveyor belt. A conveyor belt is like one of those belts like in a factory that moves, and it moves things along. I'll put like, it's got like wheels and then a belt. And this has plates. And the plates move along there. And it drops the eggs right onto the plate along with the bacon. And it goes splat onto the plate. And the plates are going up, so they I'm going to say they spiral around and they go up. And when they get to the top, see, this is just pure imagination making this. That's what this is all about, is just let your imagination run wild. On the top, I want toast. I feel like I got to have toast with my breakfast, so I'm trying to come up with an invention to make toast. But I'm a little stuck, so I'm just going to kind of do some other things while I'm waiting. I'll give this a more interesting shape. We'll give it kind of some little flower petal-y things on the back, just for decoration. Maybe we'll do one right here, too. Nice. It's pretty cool. Can add some designs or different parts that might be cool for coloring later. If I have time, I'm going to color this. Oh, and it's got to have a speaker so that it can be like, breakfast is ready, breakfast is ready. Right? Gotta wake everybody up. Here comes the breakfast car. And yeah, I'm gonna say that this just like dumps the plates right off. And you better hope that someone's down there to catch them, or else they're just gonna like spill everywhere. So I'll draw like a little guy down here trying to catch it frantically. It's just kind of funny that he's like, whoa, hang on, wait. I'll try to make him in a Dr. Seuss style. Made a little animal guy trying to catch the breakfast. It's a little bit hectic. This thing rolling through town, shooting eggs and bacon everywhere. Ah, yes, the toast. Okay, so here's what the toast is going to have. It's got a toaster here. Because I could just have a toaster that drops the toast down, but I'm just going to think, how zany can I make it? So this thing shoots the toast out like this. Shoots it this way. Shoots the toast out. And then over here we have two big sticks with a rubber band that catches the toast and goes and flings it back onto the plate. Because it's got to slow down the velocity of the toast and redirect it. It makes sense, right? Totally logical. Of course it's logical. All right. There we have it. I think that's pretty good. I'll just add a few more little details, like a little ring around this little hole where he sits. Oh, I wanted to give it another seat though. I want to put like a funny little animal in there. And this animal, big glasses on this one. Or maybe it's not an animal. I don't know. The Dr. Seuss characters are kind of ambiguous with whether or not they're people or animals. They're just kind of what they are. And this little person or thing is meticulously taking notes. He's got a little notebook here and writing down, keeping track of how many breakfasts and how many eggs and how many bacons. He's working hard down there. He's got the hardest job in the world keeping track of all of this. But luckily, he's got a little tool to help him. He's got like a little thing out here with a little eye on it that can look around and help him keep track. Okay, let's see. Do I have enough going on in this picture? I would think so. I can't imagine adding anything else, although I really could if I wanted to, but I want to color it, so I'm going to color it. It definitely has a purpose. Its purpose is to serve breakfast to all the people, albeit if it's a little bit frantic. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to turn off my mic so that you can focus a little bit. I'll leave this up for you. And we've got about 12 minutes left. And of course, if you don't finish this, you can work on it another time. You can keep working if you have time to work. Just do what you can in the time, okay? And I'll check back in a little while. Well, my friends, it is about that time. We're gonna wrap up the lesson. I probably could keep going on this if I wanted to. There's always more to do, but that's gonna be it for now. I'm happy with this drawing. If anything, it was a lot of fun to make, and just to be creative and silly, and it's kind of funny drawing. Maybe I'll give it to my son. He's 2 and he loves these books, so maybe he'll like it. So yeah, I hope that you had fun making your picture and got to exercise your creativity and tap into your silliness a little bit, because it gotta be silly, right? Keep it silly. It's fun. All right. So if you're looking for any extra art to do, I wanted to let you know that you can go to. I'm gonna bring my camera up so I can talk to you. Hang on. Oh, I'm upside down. There we go. Okay. So you can go to this YouTube channel that I'm on. You know, the Mr. Mangoni YouTube channel. You can do any of the other lessons. They're not all like super grade specific. It's not like, well, if I'm in 4th grade, I can't do the 5th grade lesson. You definitely can. And you can even do you could do kindergarten lesson if you want. Doesn't matter. You're going to do cooler things with it. So if you want extra art, go through those channel videos and see if you find something that you like. So, love you all. Take care. Hope you're doing well. Keep making art. Keep being awesome. Bye-bye.